Truth and Reconciliation Day is a day to be able to honor and recognize survivors of the Indian boarding schools and being able to show our respect and acknowledgement of the pain and trauma they had to go through. And I think also to show that the survivors of boarding school are still here and their children and grandchildren are still here.
Truth and Reconciliation Day is originally called Orange Shirt Day and still is. Orange is a color that is representative of that day. And the reason for the orange shirt is the person who fought to have the day recognized. She recalled her experience going to boarding school and that the only thing that she had from home was taken away from her, and it was an orange shirt.
Indian boarding schools were created by the United States government, and it was a way that they could try and civilize Native American communities. And so the goal was to take kids off the reservations that the US government had put them on and try and westernize them. In that process, that's where we had seen a lot of forms of physical, verbal, and sexual abuse and neglect.
The trauma of boarding school continues to, have an effect on people today. It is not remote history at all. It continued up until 1978 in the United States and until the mid-90s in Canada. And there was a really substantial loss of traditional knowledge, language, culture that was a result of boarding school era. This was a picture of my great-grandmother and her boarding school class at the Rapid City Indian School. It was actually a postcard that was sent to her mother and father, and I thought that was, as a mother, that struck me as, that would be so cruel to get a photo like this of your child in the mail, knowing that, all these kids in this picture to me look miserable, and knowing that you can't go get them because it would make things worse. The City of Fargo issued its first proclamation of acknowledging Truth and Reconciliation Day last September, which was, I think, really a testament of how progressive Fargo has been as a city of recognizing things like this. Was the first city in North Dakota to recognize Indigenous Peoples Day and abolish the celebration of Columbus Day. Both of those things are extremely important because they are part of positive reparations with Indigenous people.
I think it's within the word of the day, so truth and reconciliation. So truth being that now our Indigenous people can feel hopefully comfortable enough and safe enough and supported enough to start talking about these experiences that did not happen long ago. For non-Native people to acknowledge and to recognize that these were experiences that our population faced and our communities faced. And to give that honor and respect with that truth. And that reconciliation is when you start to have non-Native people acknowledge and recognize what has happened to our people. There starts to be that reconciliation, and there starts to be that communication of, okay, so how do we continue to support our Indigenous communities? How do we continue to support them today, even though we've seen these effects historically? And how can we continue to provide support to these communities?